The music slowed. Elena spun and saw him, Lucien, sitting in the front row with another woman's hand on his chest. Her heart cracked. She did not bow, did not smile. She ran straight off the stage and into a stranger in black, the man whose eyes looked like molten gold. "Please," she whispered, "dance with me and don't let go." He took her hand, and the whole room learned that even kings can be claimed by fate. Welcome, beautiful soul. This is a story of two powerful men and a beautiful dancer. Let's begin. Elena's dress was silver and soft, like moonlight. Her skin was a warm brown glow under the chandelier. The hall was full of powerful men, billionaires, rulers, and hidden monsters who smiled for the camera. They called the event the Summit of Power. Elena had danced here before, but never like this. Tonight, her steps felt heavy with worry. She had loved Lucien in secret. People called him the Mafia King. He could be charming. He could also be cold. He told her he would not come tonight. He lied. As she danced, she saw him. His eyes were on her, but the woman next to him leaned into his side, fingers curled into his jacket like a claim. Lucien pressed a kiss to that woman's temple without breaking eye contact with Elena. Her chest burned. Her spin faltered. The orchestra kept going, but inside her, the music died. Elena finished the sequence because she was a professional. She held her pose. The crowd clapped. She did not bow. She turned and walked off stage, fast. She did not want to cry where he could see. The marble corridor felt too bright. Elena's heels struck the floor in quick, sharp beats. She passed guards and gold-framed art. She was breathing hard. She just needed a door, a quiet corner, a second to wipe her eyes. Instead, she ran into a wall. Not a real wall. A man, tall, solid, dressed in a black suit that fit his broad shoulders. His hair was dark. His jaw had the look of a man who did not bend for anyone. His eyes were a strange, warm gold. He caught her by the waist so she would not fall. His hand was firm but gentle. "You're running," he said, voice calm, deep. "From what?" Elena swallowed. She did not have time to explain heartbreak and stupid hope and all the little ways a person can break. She glanced behind her and saw Lucien step into the corridor with two guards. Elena looked up at the stranger in black. "Please," she whispered. "Pretend you know me. Dance with me. Just stay." The corner of his mouth lifted, not a laugh, more like a promise. He held out his hand, palm open. "Then we dance," he said. They walked back into the ballroom as if they owned the night. The orchestra slid into a slow, sultry piece. The lights dimmed to a honey glow. People turned to look. Some frowned, some stared. Elena felt all eyes on her, but the stranger's presence was like a shield. She could breathe again. "What should I call you?" she asked softly. "Cale Draven," he said, "but most use my title." "And what is that?" He held her gaze. "Alpha King." Elena's heart stuttered. She had heard rumors about an alpha ruler who controlled old lands and new money, a man whose word could shift markets and empires. Some said he was more than a man. Some said he was a storm in a suit, but his hand on her back was warm. His steps were steady, and he guided her with grace. "Breathe," Kyle said. "Follow me." She did. And it felt like her body had been waiting on this map all along. Kyle moved like he knew the song before it began. Elena's hips rolled in a slow wave. Her arm looped around his neck, and the room softened into blur and sound. Every step with him felt simple, right? As if her body had found a home in motion. Halfway through the song, she looked up. In his eyes, something sparked. It was not lust. It was recognition, like a key had found its lock. Like the night had finally opened a door it had been guarding. Cale's jaw flexed. His hand on her waist pressed a little closer, not to trap her, but to steady what had broken inside her. He leaned in. "Who is he?" he asked. "My ex," she said, voice flat. He lied, and I was foolish enough to believe him. Kyle did not say sorry. He did not pity her. He said, You are not foolish. You are honest. Some men are allergic to honest. Something warm, almost like a smile, tugged at her lips. When the song ended, the room clapped again, louder this time. Some stood, some whispered. Lucian's face was stone. The woman at his side squeezed his arm and whispered in his ear. Kyle did not bow to the crowd. He kept his hand on the small of Elena's back and guided her out of the circle of eyes. Cold air met them on the open terrace. The city spread below, full of lights and late dreams. Elena hugged her arms. Kale shrugged off his jacket and set it over her shoulders. It was heavy, warm, and smelled like cedar and something dark she could not name. You didn't have to help me, she said. I wanted to, he said, and I do not like the way he looked at you. He thinks I belong to him. Do you? No, she said. Not anymore. Kale nodded, as if this answer was the one he had been waiting for. Good, he said. There was a pause. Elena stared at the glowing city. She could feel Kale's gaze, not hungry, not greedy, just present. Like he knew how to keep watch. Why did you ask me to dance? He asked. You felt safe, she said, and strong. And I needed a wall that could move. He laughed once, low. I can do that. The terrace door opened. A guard stepped out, eyes sharp. Sir, he said to Kyle, Lucian wants a word. Kale's smile faded. He looked at Elena. Do you want me to speak with him? She shook her head. He is not worth words. Kyle nodded to the guard. Then he gets none. They tried to leave quietly, but Lucian did not like quiet. He met them in the corridor with 2 of his men. The woman who had clung to him remained in the ballroom, frowning after him like a shadow that lost its light. Lucian's smile was polite. His eyes were not. Elena, he said, a pretty performance. You did well, for a girl who forgets her place. Elena held Kale's jacket tighter around her shoulders. I did not forget, she said. I learned. Lucian's gaze slid to Kale. You are out of your lane, Draven. Kyle did not blink. This building has no lanes, he said. It has doors. Try one. Lucian took a step closer to Elena. Kale moved without thought, putting himself between them. He did not raise his voice. He did not show his teeth. But a quiet threat hummed in the air, like the moment before thunder. Walk away, Kale said. Lucian was a man who enjoyed games. He liked small pain. He liked fear. But he did not enjoy the feeling in his bones right now. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff in a storm. He smirked to hide it. You think she's worth it? He asked. Kale did not look away. I do not think, he said. I know. Lucian lifted both hands in mock peace. Fine. Keep your dancer. He stepped back, but his eyes promised there would be more. Kale waited until Lucian was gone. Then he exhaled, slow. He looked at Elena. I can get you out the back, he said. I don't want to run my whole life, she said. You won't, he said. Not with me. Kale's car was quiet leather and soft lights. The city slid by like a dark river full of glitter. Elena leaned back and focused on breathing. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere safe, Kale said. My penthouse, if that is okay with you. If not, I can arrange a safe hotel with my security posted at your door. Elena studied his face. He was not pushing. He was giving her control. She liked that. She nodded. Your place is fine. He nodded once to the driver. They did not talk much after that. They did not need to. Elena watched Kale's reflection in the window. He looked like a man who had carried too much and did not complain. It calmed her. The elevator opened to glass and sky. The penthouse was simple and dark and warm. A wall of windows showed the city like a painting. There were plants. There were books with worn edges. There was a grand piano that looked loved. Kyle took her to a guest room first, Fresh clothes, a bathroom with soft towels. Take your time, he said. There is soup in the kitchen if you're hungry. Or tea. Tea, she said, small smile. He left her to breathe. Elena washed her face, took off the silver dress, and stood for a moment just looking at her reflection. Her body was strong from years of dance. Her eyes were a little red, but steady now. She changed into a soft black t-shirt and loose pants. The clothes were too big, but comfortable. When she stepped into the living room, the lights were low. A kettle steamed. Kyle stood by the window. He turned when he heard her. For a second, he just looked. Not with hunger, with awe. Like a man who had done math all his life and now saw color. Chamomile? He asked. Perfect, she said. They drank tea on the couch, not touching, not rushing. Elena told him about her mother, who used to hum while cooking. She told him about dance, how it was the one place her heart told the truth. Kale told her about the piano, how his father taught him a song and how he still plays it when his head is too loud. Play it for me? She asked. He did. It was simple and deep. Elena closed her eyes and felt safe for the first time in months. Later, when the city was quiet and the piano keys were still, Kyle walked her back to the guest room. Elena, he said, voice careful, you do not owe me anything. I helped because I wanted to. You can lock this door. I will be in the next room. She stepped closer. I don't want the door locked, she said. I want you here. He searched her face. Are you sure? She nodded. I am. He kissed her then, soft, patient, almost shy for a man like him. His hands framed her face like she was treasure. When they moved to the bed, he was gentle and slow, stopping whenever she needed a breath, asking without words and waiting for her yes. There was no rush. There was only warmth, trust, and a feeling that felt like coming home. We fade the details here. The scene remains romantic and respectful. Dawn made the windows silver. Elena woke to the hush of the city and the steady rhythm of Kale's breath. He looked different in sleep, young, almost boyish, the weight gone from his brow. She shifted and he woke. His hand reached for her, then paused as if asking, May I? She smiled and curled into him. There was a beat of silence. Kyle's gaze grew careful, then gentle but serious. Elena, he said, voice low, may I ask you something personal? She nodded. Yes. He took a slow breath. Last night, I realized. He broke off, searching for the most respectful words. It was your first time. Elena held his eyes. She did not flinch or hide. Yes, she said. Kale blinked, surprise raw and honest. I did not expect that, he admitted. I am sorry if I hurt you. You didn't, she said. You were kind. He nodded, relief softening his face. He hesitated, then added, I need to ask, because I care about your truth. You were with him for months. Why save this for me? Elena looked out at the morning light and spoke clearly. I couldn't give myself to Lucian, she said. I tried once. I wanted to believe he loved me. But my body would not agree. Something inside me said, no. It said, wait. She looked back at Kyle. When you held me on that dance floor, it felt like the wait was over. Kale's eyes warmed in a way she had never seen in any man. Not greed, not claim, gratitude. Thank you, he said, for trusting me with that. I will honor it. I will honor you. He pressed his forehead to hers and breathed her in, as if making a vow under the quiet sun. The day should have been soft after such a night, but life liked to test what is new and precious. By noon, Kale's security team sent a message. Lucian had men posted 2 blocks from the building, watching exits. There were also whispers that Lucian had asked a hacker to pull files on Elena, contracts, old dance bookings, bank records. It was not hard to guess his plan: shame her, shake her, force her back into his orbit. Kyle's jaw hardened. "He will not touch you," he said. Elena sat up straighter. "I don't want to hide," she said. "I want to stand up for myself. But I also know he plays dirty." Kale nodded. "Then we stand smart." He called his lawyer. He called his head of security. He called the event director of the summit and demanded the surveillance files. At the same time, he made Elena breakfast, eggs, toast, and fruit, because war is easier on a full stomach. When he set the plate in front of her, she smiled. "Thank you." "Always," he said. By afternoon, Kyle had a plan. They filed a restraining order with attached evidence, Lucian's men at her old building, the threats sent from blocked numbers, the record of past bookings where Lucian insisted Elena change outfits last minute to please private guests. Kyle's team froze a shell company Lucien used to move money. The company was in violation of several rules. The freeze would force him to play defense for a while. Kale reached out to 2 other power brokers who disliked Lucien. He did not trade bribes. He traded truth and leverage, which is cleaner and stronger. Elena watched all this in a quiet awe. She had seen power used to control and belittle. She had never seen power used to protect. When Kale hung up the last call, she touched his shoulder. "Thank you for fighting for me," she said. He covered her hand with his. "You are not a fight," he said. "You are the reason to end one." Lucian did not let go without a scene. He sent Elena a message from a new number. "Meet me alone. One last talk. I'll give you your old dance contracts back. No more debt." He added a location, an empty parking level near the river. Elena showed the text to Kyle. He shook his head. "It's a trap." "I know," she said, "but maybe we can make it his." That night, Kale's team went first. They set small cameras. They checked exits. Kale sent a decoy car to circle the block. Then he and Elena arrived in a plain black SUV with tinted windows. Elena stepped out with her chin high and Kale's jacket over her shoulders. She looked like a queen who had stopped bowing. Lucien walked out of the shadows slow, trying to look relaxed. "Elena," he said, "you look good for a girl playing house." "Stop," she said. "We are done. Give me what you promised and walk away." He laughed. "You think you can order me around now that you're sleeping in a penthouse?" His eyes slid to Kyle, who stood 2 steps behind Elena, calm but coiled. "Does he know who you really are?" Lucien continued. "The little dancer who wanted a throne?" Elena held her ground. "I wanted respect," she said. "I wanted love. You offered neither." Lucien moved like he might grab her arm. He couldn't. Kale's hand was already there, and that quiet threat was back, thicker now. In the dark, behind Lucien, 2 of his men shifted. They had guns. Kyle's team had already marked them. Within seconds, both men were disarmed and on the ground, groaning. Lucien froze as the echo of his plan fell apart. Kale stepped forward then, voice soft as a blade. "She is not your property," he said. "She is not a thing you can buy back. This ends now." Lucien searched for a smile and found none. He spat on the ground and backed away. "This isn't over," he hissed. Kale's eyes stayed steady. "For you, it is." When they got back to the penthouse, Elena sank onto the couch and let out a long, shaky breath. Kale knelt in front of her, hands open. "You were brave," he said. "I was terrified." Brave and terrified often walk together. She laughed once, soft. Then she grew quiet. "Kyle," she said, "do you ever worry that this is too fast?" He thought about it. "I worry about many things," he said, "but not that. I have waited a long time, not for a face, not for a body, for a truth. You are that truth." Elena's eyes filled, but this time not from pain. "Last night," she said, "when you asked about me, when you realized—" She swallowed. "No one has ever handled me like something that mattered." "You do," he said. "Every part of you does." He lifted her hand and pressed his lips to her knuckles. "I will not rush you," he said. "I will not push." I will protect what we are building. If at any time you want to slow down, we slow. If you want me to leave, I leave. If you want me to stay, I stay. I want you to stay, she whispered. Then I stay. Weeks passed. Elena kept dancing, new stages, fair contracts, a team that respected her. Kyle watched from the back rows sometimes, like a calm shadow. He did not ask her to quit. He only asked how he could help. Lucian tried a few more tricks, but each one fell apart. The restraining order held. His money problems grew. The woman who had clung to him at the summit was seen with someone kinder. People noticed patterns, power shifts. He faded. Elena learned Kale's world, its weight and its rules. She met his closest people, the ones who would die for him and the ones who would tell him when he was wrong. She liked that he listened when he was wrong. Sometimes, at night, Kale played the piano and Elena danced in the living room, bare feet on warm wood, city lights like stars at their feet. He called her my peace. She called him my shelter. They made a home from two lives that had been lonely for too long. One night, after a small dinner and a slow kiss in the kitchen, Kale took Elena's hand and led her to the window wall. I have a question, he said. Ask. He reached into his pocket and took out a simple ring, gold and warm. No giant stone, no show, just a circle that felt like a promise. Elena, he said, I am still surprised by you. Every day, the way you saved the best parts of yourself for a love that deserved them, the way you stand even when you shake. Will you be my partner? Will you be my queen? Not because I am a king, but because you own my heart. Elena put her hand to her mouth. Tears came fast, not sad tears, bright ones. She nodded, then found her voice. Yes, she said. 1,000 times, yes. He slid the ring onto her finger. It glowed against her brown skin. He kissed her, slow and steady, and the city outside felt small. They returned to the summit the following year. Elena did not run this time. She walked in by Kale's side, head high, ring catching the light. When the orchestra began, Kale stood, offered his hand, and asked like it was the first time, Dance with me and don't let go. She laughed. Never. They moved as one, two people, one rhythm. The room watched, but it wasn't for the room. It was for them, for the girl who would not bow to a lie, for the man who learned that strength is not just fists and orders, but gentle hands and honest vows. And when the music ended, Kale pressed a kiss to her forehead and whispered, Thank you for waiting for me. Elena smiled, eyes bright. You were worth the wait. If you enjoy this story, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more romantic, powerful tales. Question for you. If you were Elena, would you choose safety or dance toward love, no matter who was watching?